From Craig Rolson in Europe, David Gerber in Brazil, and our editor-in-chief and publisher, Don Oshman, it's time for this week's Sunday Night Week in Review.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the HideNet recap of the World Market Report. Not the world, but North America, Latin America, and Europe. It's Sunday, November 9th. I'm Don Oshman, editor-in-chief and publisher of HideNet Market Reports. Our European editor, Craig Rolson, reports this week that Russian sanctions are negatively affecting the market. Not in a huge way, but there's an undertone that a lot of this business that used to go to Russia, it makes it easily from Italy and other countries, is not that way anymore. However, there are rumors, nothing factual, of roundabout trade going via China or Kazakhstan or someplace like that. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. We talked about that before the sanctions took place. But also, Russian goods are not coming in, and European hides, crushed, wet blue are not going through the channels like they used to. The dollar strengthened against the euro, which had the effects of you can't do much about that. That's what happened. Makes the American merchandise more expensive. European buying interest was rather dull, but the Asians picked up a little bit of the slack. Luxury business was reduced from the tremendous peak the last couple of years, and it's been reduced. It's just not, the pizzazz is kind of going away. That's affected the vealskin market, especially for the high-priced purses and leather goods, luxury brand names. China is just not buying in the same quantity they were. And of course the Europeans aren't because they're bordering on recession. European furniture business is also down from last spring and last year. And any bullish sentiment in the European market is going away. Nobody's bullish. In fact, nobody's bullish any place in the world that we follow. Does that mean everybody thinks the sky is falling? Not necessarily, and the sky is not falling, but it's not what it was. European tanners, Craig reports, appear more focused on making leather sales than they are buying raw material, and that's trickled down the supply chain as well. Actual price declines are less than the atmosphere and predictions would say so. And again, you can see this in other countries. It's interesting to me how if it's European market or the Latin American market, North American market, they kind of go in concert. One doesn't become bullish while the other one's bearish. Also, the vealskin market, as we talked about before, lower for most selections of vealskins, which you couldn't get enough of them a year ago. So you can see that because of Chinese luxury spending as well. North America this week, the prices tilted in a southerly direction. Benchmark Texas steers sold for between $114 and $116 CNF. There's a reduction in slaughter capacity. There was an article about that this week where the kill is down, I think it was 4.5%, The ability to kill, the slaughterhouses have reduced their capacity or gone out of business 4.5% of what it was a year or so ago. And that's roughly over 4 million hides in the last several years. So even if there were the cattle to kill, there's not facilities anymore. They'd have to rejuvenate them to bring them back. But the industry does not see any immediate resurgence in cattle supply in North America. So far this year to date, it's down to about 2 million so far, which is 7.2% from last year. And last year was down, I forget, 2-3% from the year before, and the year before that was down a couple percent. So that's what's going on in the North American supply market for hides. Slaughter this week was 564,000, and that was still above sales and shipments. So sales and shipments were reduced drastically, not drastically, but significantly this year, putting pressure on the market. The end result was the prices came down. Also, to keep the kill at a low level, packers were losing, as of a week ago, about $100+ a head. So they're killing minimum amounts. They have union commitments they have to kill, but they're killing less. The combined outstanding, that's wet blue and wet salt hides fell 7% compared to the week before. And we also talk about in this week's North American Report, U.S. Week in Review, how the West Coast pork strike, which is Los Angeles and Oakland and places like that, they're slowing down because of a union conflict with the ports, and they're dragging their feet, so shipments coming in and jumping out hurt everything, and it also hurts some people from getting containers to load the ship hides. This also delays LC openings, bills of lading, and all those sort of things. And again, there's more and more stories of delayed LCs because the tanners don't have enough money, or you see the market coming down and they're delaying opening LCs. So a lot of negativism coming from that too. One good piece of news was the U.S. pig and sow market. After years, the United States Hide, Skin, and Leather Association lobbied and made it possible so now that American producers of pigskins and sowskins can export them to China for the first time in a long, long time. South America this week, David Holz, our Latin American editor from Nuevo Hamburgo, reports that fresh hides are steady in Brazil, but it's an easier undertone in Brazil in the Brazilian market. We've heard of no sales under $2 a square foot yet, CFR, but everybody thinks it's going to come. Meanwhile, the fresh hide prices are steady, putting more strain on tanners, and tanners can't afford to sell below $2 a foot because of their raw material cost. In Argentina, prices are easing, but there's good buyer interest. It's just a matter of price. And the Argentinian split prices are generally steady. We talk about that in this week's Latin American report. And this week in leather, we talk about Chinese light leather production, Vietnamese leather exports, the Chinese economy slowing and how it's affected our industry. U.S. consumer confidence is up in the economic section of our This Week in Leather report. Also in the footwear section, we talk about Chinese footwear results in August, the outdoor footwear trend in North America, what's selling outdoor footwear, uses a lot of leather. Also a sales prediction analysis of 2015, what we can expect in automotive sales, and we all know the percentage of leather that goes into automotive depending on where you're from, what country. And also our comments at the end of the year, our market observations looking forward is how substitutes are infringing on leather consumption. Everybody we talk to says they're doing, not everybody, most everybody says they're selling less leather this year than they did a year ago because we feel substitutes are taking a greater percentage of what leather goods are made out of. Leather, but more and more substitutes. So, lots of news on HideNet. Get a free trial. You can't win. You can't win if you don't have a free trial. If you get a free trial, you can see what we have for sale, you can see what we offer, and you can see why so many people in over 60 foreign countries think it's well worth the price of a subscription. www.hidenet.com. Nothing to lose and a great deal to gain. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.